Good evening. I'd like to call the Forsyth County Board of Education meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, November 13th, and it's 6 o'clock. At this time, you'll please join us in the Invocation Pledge that's led by Nancy Roche.
Please bow your heads. As each of us gives our own thanks according to our personal persuasions, let us dwell on some thoughts that bind us together. We are blessed with friends and laughter and fun, with rain that's often as soft as light from the sun. We are blessed with stars to brighten each night. You've given us help to know wrong from right. You've given us so much, please. Lord, give us, too, a heart that is always grateful to you. That was an Irish prayer. Please salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're glad that everyone is here. I don't mean to point you out, but is there a scout in the back of the room? Are you here for your badge? Or after we have the meeting, if you have any questions, please come up. We'll be glad to answer anything that you need. Okay? Thank you for coming. Okay, you have before you an agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Tom, a second from Nancy. All in favor? Unanimous. We'll have recognitions now with Joey Perkle.
Good afternoon. It's always a pleasure to be able to recognize folks in our district for the great things that they do each and every day. And we have several of those this afternoon. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first recognition this afternoon comes from the Department of Education. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act requires the Georgia Department of Education to review the data of each system to evaluate that system's performance in meeting requirements and purposes of IDEA. This is the system's report card, so to speak, for IDEA and the Special Education Department for how well they are performing within their department. We'd like to recognize this afternoon Ms. Sarah Taylor, the Director of Special Education, along with her entire team for scoring a perfect 100 for this distinction. So it's a great accomplishment. I'm going to have you also, if you're here, if you're within the Special Education Department, will you stand so we can recognize you? Have seven, yes. We certainly recognize that it's certainly a team effort, so we appreciate all the hard work that you do. The Georgia Association of Curriculum and Instruction Supervisors award one Distinguished Service Award each year to a person that has demonstrated outstanding leadership in their district. This year, the association has awarded Dr. Cindy Salome with the Distinguished Service Award. We'd like to thank Dr. Salome for her outstanding leadership that she has provided to our district. So let's congratulate Dr. Salome. We didn't want you to award yourself.
Just don't wait for a job anywhere else.
Okay. Congratulations. Thank you, goodness.
At this time, I'd like to recognize our Employee of the Month. This is a great honor and a great recognition to be able to give to you all, or to have an opportunity to provide with this recognition. I'd like to thank Jim and Nix for their sponsorship, and you're here, so thank you. We appreciate your sponsorship and what you've done for our school district. We appreciate that. It's there's 2 pages of really small writing of all the great things about this employee. I'm not going to be able to read all of those, but I do want to read a couple for you. Says she contributes to our school in so many ways. She always goes above and beyond her job. She always jumps in to help classroom teachers and other faculty members. She positively engages with school faculty students, and parents. She should receive this honor because she does her job and more with a smile on her face. She never complains and is always positive. Another person said she engages with our community of teachers, students, staff, and parents. She contributes to our school in many ways, most notably as the front line of customer service to our parents. She also supports our teachers with various needs, including maintaining our school calendar, supporting teachers on enforcing school procedures, explaining anything and everything to parents, and by running an after-school club. She goes above and beyond in every aspect of her role. She's continually bettering herself and finding ways to support the school community as a whole. She is a shining star and is up for any task. This year, she has also spent much of her time training our new secretary. She is a problem solver and looks ahead to prevent issues from arising. We don't know what we would do without her. One other person said, she interacts with every teacher and most of our parents. She's respectful, efficient, and she is able to communicate with everyone effectively. She always gives 100%. We lean on her for answers to our questions, and she is supportive in even difficult situations. We love her. So it's great pleasure that I'd like to introduce to you this month's Employee of the Month is Miss Brittany Knopp, receptionist at Big Creek Elementary School. I know that she has family and friends and Big Creek folks here supporting her. Big Creek, the principal, Ms. Laura Webb. So if your family, friends, Big Creek staff here to support Ms. Knopp, will you stand so we can thank you for your support? Thank you very much. This time we have our Superior Performance Spotlight, and that will be given to us from Principal at Sawney Elementary, Dr. Eileen Nix.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk about a subject very near and dear to my heart, Sawney Elementary. I could talk for hours about it, but don't panic. I'll keep it to the time when I'm supposed to. This year is our 50th anniversary. Sawney Elementary opened in the fall of 1968. Our theme for the year has been honoring the past, inspiring the future. And if I may, I'll give you a little bit of history for those that may not know. This is a totally different kind of redistricting. It was a consolidation. Sawney was made from 3 smaller elementary schools, Friendship, Ducktown, and the old Matt Elementary. It started with, and it was grades 1 through 8 at that point in time. And this, I just threw this in, it's the staff of our first year at Sawney. It also has the superintendent in there, principal.
Not me.
No. Former superintendent. Also, whoops, went the wrong way. No, I didn't. Okay, I want to tell you a little bit about how we celebrate 50 years Sawney style. One of our activities this year on October the 18th, which was the 50th day of school, we had lots of different activities around the number 50. Some classes did 50 thank you notes on classroom doors. I noticed I'm sitting in my desk and all of a sudden I see a little arm come in and stick something on my door and I'm like, hello? But they were trying to be very quiet about sticking thank you notes in different places. Some classes did 50 acts of kindness, 50 things I love about Sawney. We had a 50s themed lunch that day, a photo booth, did real world math activities around the number 50. Some classes tried to read 50 books and writing 50 sentences as a class. Our chief challenge this year, which was a major fundraiser, also had a 50s theme with it. If you see the shirt on the left, it talks about Sun 50 years or chief challenge. And then on the right, you can see what they looked like after they completed the course with all the paint and everything. Our fundraiser, we had two goals for that: to increase our classroom libraries and to do some beautification projects around Sony, because after 50 years, you might need a little work. Although the building's not quite that old, one of them. Next, our yearbook. The front cover will have the years 1968 to 2018, and then the back cover is a picture from Sony Mountain, because Sony Elementary is named for Chief Sony, who I think is legend to still be in Sony Mountain. Some of our future plans for this year, we're looking at launching either an alumni Facebook page or connecting it to our website where former parents, students, community can give us information about Sony or memories, maybe put some pictures and stuff. We also are doing a large group photo with the staff in the shape of 50. That wasn't us. We tried this last week. I had one of our partners in ed who has a drone, and we had everything all ready to go, silly string, and you stand on the 50, and it started raining. So we went to Plan B and tried to do it in the gym, but the perspective was off a little bit, so we're going to retry that again after Thanksgiving. Our field day this year will have a 50th anniversary theme. Students are going to be able to complete a painted rock walkway project this year. We're also going to have bricks that parents or community or students can purchase in memory of or in honor of a current or former student, staff, or parent. We're also planning 1,000 daffodils in the 50th anniversary color. We've got part of those planted. We're going to have a big community event on April the 13th from 10 to 2, so please make plans to come. Students from our Leader and Me Club are going to be guides to help people go through the building. We've been reaching out to our feeder middle and high schools, chorus and band, so that some of them maybe can perform during that time. Bouncy houses, dessert food trucks. Parents in the community will also have an opportunity to paint rocks for the walkway if they would like, or purchase the commemorative bricks. As you can see, this is a huge endeavor, and we have had a lot of people working on all of this. The thing I would like to talk about just a minute is a lot of the staff in the county had a lot of connections to Sony Elementary. Deputy Superintendent Joey Perkle started Sony in the 1st grade, and I think he went through maybe 6th. Associate Superintendent Teaching and Learning, Fonda Harrison, that was her first AP position, was at Sony while I was principal. Eric Ashton, principal at Dave's Creek. When we were separated for a few years to Sony Primary and Sony Elementary, he was the principal at Sony Primary for a year. Jan Monroe, principal at Midway, was a former teacher at Sony. And then the next 4, Charlie Staller, principal at Matt, Polly Tennis, principal at Chester T, Carla Gravett, principal at Mashburn, and Lynn Castleberry, principal at Whitlow, were all former assistant principals. So I may not do a lot of things great, but I sure know how to pick them, because it's just, again, thank you so much for allowing me to talk about Sony for just a little bit. And I've had many different hats at Sony through the years. I have started as a student, was a teacher, assistant principal, parent, and grandparent. Wow. So it has been absolutely a fun trip. At this point in time, I'd like for the folks from Sony that are on our committee and helping with us to stand and be recognized for a minute.
Good.
I would also like to conclude with a little gift in memory of our 50th anniversary.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you go?
That was fun to see the pictures. I loved it.
It was. It's so good to see a program that deals with the history of Forsyth County in one of the schools, because it does go way back. And this community has always been supportive of education, as you know, Eileen, because you've been here for so long. But one thing I wanted to commend you on was the Veterans Day program that Friday that I've been to for several years. It was so well done. And the veterans, I know, appreciated it. And that just makes it more special when a school takes that to heart and makes the grandparents come and smile, and the kids just, and they got it. They understood exactly what Veterans Day was. And in this day and age, I think that's hugely important. So thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to Ferris Posey, who spends
you do.
hours and hours trying to put the program together. But it's always our goal to have a family feel at Sony. So again, thank you for letting me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Great program. Appreciate it. At this time, we will be going through the rest of our agenda, but if you would like to leave, this would be and not stay for the rest of our business meeting, this would be a good time to step out. But if not, you're welcome to stay.
Students here, it's like a government class or something.
That's what I'm thinking, that they have to go to some, right.
Must be a college.
Maybe. They all look the same in high school. Don't they? They do.
If there are any other students in here that have any questions that are visiting our board meetings, we have so few visitors, so I can recognize if you might have questions, please let us know after our meeting, and we'll be glad to help you with that if you have any information. Okay. You have before you a consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Thomas, second by Nancy. All in favor? Unanimous. There's no public participation tonight. Our first presentation is a finance report with Chris Squiner.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. So good to see that money coming in.
Yes.
Tax dollar.
You're doing better than the market.
Keep it up.
Makes my report easier. You have before you the financials as of the end of October. First is our statement of cash receipts and disbursements. Property taxes, we got a large payment of over $70 million right on the last day of the month, so that's why this is. You see cash at the bottom of $112 million. Last year we were at about, I wrote that down, I think we were only at around $22 million last year, so we were kind of getting close. So that one tax payment, coming in a little over $70 million, set us up. $40 million of that 112 has been invested. We actually bought some U.S. Treasuries the first part of November. The yield on those should be around 2.65%. Based on some rough calculations, we anticipate earning about $750,000 in interest on those Treasuries.
Great.
When we get our next, we should get taxes were due, of course, the middle of November, so we should get another large payment and probably look at investing some of that as well. So I was actually kind of playing around with some of those numbers today, so we'll look at doing that as well. Maybe a little bit shorter.
Playing around with a few $100 million here and there.
Yeah. So, and those are 6-month treasuries, so they'll come due in July and August, which is about when we start getting into our vote period again. So, next we have our revenue detail. Of course, again, mentioning the ad valorem taxes, we're at about 59% right now, so we'll get another large payment the end of this month. So total revenues, 43.49%. Last year, same time, we were around 23%. But again, it's that $70 million that came. It's just a timing difference. So, on the expenditure side, down at the bottom, you'll see we're at 34.07. If you did 4 months into the year, we'd be around 33.33, so just slightly above that, but last year we were 33.76, so kind of in the same. If you take the encumbrances back out, as I mentioned in the past, we're actually a little bit lower than that 34.07 and closer to the 33.33, so.
Okay.
So on track there. Debt services, as I mentioned, our next bond payments are due February 1st. Those are roughly about $46 million. You can tell at our debt service fund balance right now we have 51.5. So we've got enough already to make those payments, but we'll collect November, December, and January SPLOST. So you're talking about another 10 to 12 million. Plus with the bond millage, we got in about 12 million. We'll get in more with that next wave of payments we receive as well. So we're in great shape with our debt service fund balance.
Okay.
Investment summary, again, you'll see the transfers, which is where we've actually started some projects, and that money's starting to come out of those accounts. On the 2018 bonds, about $5.5 million in October. So the ending balance there is $161 million, but you can see we earned a little over $300,000 in interest there as well. And that money is in the local government investment pool, so we have easy access to that. We can do a one-day transfer, and it's earning about 2.2% right now. So again, investments, again, the general fund doesn't reflect those purchases because we made them in November, but that'll be a little over $40 million when you see the November report at least. So,
All right.
looking at SPLOST, down a little bit in October, which is September's collections, about 3.75%. Some of that could be fall break,
Oh, yeah.
is what I was thinking. Yeah, and I know we had the same break last year, but it's just so hard to predict how that works out. So I don't see anything alarming there. Our monthly average is still 3.2 million. So, and we're still, if you look at the same time span, still about 2.2 million ahead, 48.3 compared to a little over 46 million. So I've learned with SPLOST, it can go up and down, and sometimes there's rhyme or reason to it, and sometimes it's just, there is no rhyme or reason. So, but the pattern is still good, so we're still in
Rain
good.
this week, it could be a bad month too.
That's true, because people don't get out as much. Yep, exactly. Next slide is our elementary school accounts. You can see down at the bottom, combined 4.6 million. Middle school 2.2 million, and then high school 3.9 million. And all that's pretty consistent to where we're normally at. A little bit higher this year, but that again fluctuates. And of course we added 2 new high schools, so 10.7 million total. So our schools are in very good shape cash-wise as well. I'll be happy to answer any questions y'all might have.
Anybody have any?
Straightforward.
Great.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Chris.
Good, thank y'all, I appreciate it, thank you.
All right, next are our action items, and the first will be to establish the 2019 meeting dates, and they are on your agenda. I'm going to pull it up. Does anybody have any questions about those dates?
Was one a student holiday, but the staff are working that day anyway, so the Tuesday. Oh yeah, so I'll be here, but I might be coming in on 2 wheels. It's that long weekend we have.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right, is there a motion to approve the meeting dates for 2019? Motion by Tom, is there a second?
Second?
Second from Nancy. Any other comments? All in favor? Unanimous. Second action item is the 2019, 2020, 2020, 21 school calendars.
Say that again?
Sure.
With Mr. Burkle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last week at your work session, I presented the 2019-20, 2021 student calendar. It's kind of hard to say that fast 3 times. So at this time, I'd ask the superintendent for a recommendation.
Yeah, I'd recommend approval.
Is there a motion to approve the recommendation from the
So moved.
superintendent?
Second.
Motion from Nancy, second from Tom. Any discussion?
No, it's been a lot of work.
It has been a lot of work, and there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of comments, but I think
A lot of
it-
feedback from LSC that you took into consideration, so that was
It's
good.
always important.
That is important.
So-
Okay.
All right, all in favor? Unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you.
And next on the agenda is the elementary school number 23 architectural services contract with Mr. McKnight.
Thank you. We formed a committee made up of school personnel, and we interviewed several architectural firms for this work. After that committee met about 3 times, we picked Smallwood, Willis, Stewart and Associates, Inc., out of Atlanta. We felt like they had the best vision for what we were wanting to do moving forward. And I would ask that the school board approve their architectural contract. I believe you have a copy of it in your list there. We estimated the school because until we bid it, obviously, and know exactly what it'll be, but it is going to be based on a percentage rate. but we estimated it at 22.5, which we felt like was an appropriate number at this time.
Okay.
Any
Are we-
questions?
Are we expecting to make it much different from what we've been previously doing, or?
It'll be a 70-unit school like what we have been building now, but there seem to be a lot of people who are interested in looking at something a little different, so we're going to,
Me included.
I was not going to single you out.
No. Recommendation for.
Yeah, recommend approval.
All right, is there a motion to approve the recommendation?
So moved.
Motion from Tom, a second.
Second.
Second from Darla. Any other comments or questions? All right, all in favor?
And I meant to say that was also part of the bond project that we.
That's right.
That we passed, part of our
That's right.
2018 bond.
It's not that
project.
that plan that we use over and over again is not good. It's just, it would be nice to see
That's it.
something different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Change.
The next thing that I'm going to talk about is also part of our 2018 bond project, and it's our HVAC controls upgrade. In the schools that you'll see here, Chastity, the old part of Forsyth Central, the old part of North Forsyth High School, and the old part of South Forsyth High School had some of the old Delta V2 controllers that we could no longer get parts for, and we needed to upgrade those. And so I bring this to you for the board to approve.
All right, so.
Recommend approval.
Is there a motion to approve the recommendation? from
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Nancy, second from Kristin. Any questions? All right.
No?
All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Bill.
All right. Superintendent, point information?
Well, you mentioned it earlier, but just to say again, really appreciate all the schools and the different Veterans Day assemblies we had throughout our district. They were very well attended and very much appreciated by our veterans and our community. So again, a shout out to all of our schools for that. That's it.
All right. Okay, is there a motion to go in executive session for personnel?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Tom, second from Kristin. All in favor? Unanimous?